Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Has something to eat.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Begin right.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm. So in prayer, right?
Yeah. Let's continue.
We we have finished with the 5 limb prayers.
我们已经讲完了。
Now we will continue with the remaining two limbs.
我们讲完了七支供的前面的五支，现在呢，我们讲最后面第五支。
And then we will 7 limb prayers. Then we will review briefly later on, right?
然后呢，我们会再重新的回顾一下这个七支供的内容。
First, we will continue with the remaining 2 limb prayer.
我们首先呢，继续讲
The last 2 limb prayer is, as we read, please remain until the end of, not this one, yeah. And then, yeah, and turn the wheel of Dharma for migrators, right? And turn the wheel of Dharma for migrators. Then that is talking about, requesting to teach.
经转法
So this prayer limb is also very important.
那这个七支供的这个祈祷文呢是很重要的。
Right. So here the visualization involved is you emanate
这里的观想呢包含
you make innumerable emanations, limitless emanations, and then you go to different Buddha's Pure Land.
我们心中放出
Right.
无数的化身，前往呢诸佛的
Different Buddha's Pure Land, and by holding this one, Dharma wheel. There's one called Dharma wheel. I think you know this one. Dharma wheel, because Dharma wheel is an indication of requesting for the teaching, right? Requesting for teaching, and then so to whom you are requesting is those some for example, like some Buddhas, enlightened beings, they achieve enlightenment in the morning, and in some cases they right after achieving enlightenment, then they pass away in the evening. So this happens, and also those who some enlightened beings, when they newly achieve enlightenment, then they remain in a state of silence. They don't teach. So therefore, for these Buddhas, then you hold the Dharma wheel. If you have no idea of Dharma wheel, then you can hold the mandala offering, right? You hold the mandala offering and then make a request to teach, right? Right. And then here in this case, for example, you request to the Ksitigarbah, Ksitigarbah, and they're requesting him to teach, and Ksitigarbah also Ksitigarbah and all other retinues, and they have happily and gladly accepted your request, and they, after having accepted your request, then they give you the teaching. We visualize that these great enlightened beings like Ksitigarbah, they give us the teaching, the Four Noble teaching, the teaching on the extensive path, stages of the path to enlightenment, all these teachings, and you really become the disciple, the disciple of the Ksitigarbah. We really become the disciple of the Ksitigarbah. Right. So this is how we visualize, right? When we reach to this, prayer, turn the will of Dharma for my greatest. It is not that because Buddhas are so full of compassion. Buddhas are the embodiment of the compassion. Buddha's task is to liberate the sentient being. So they have the compassion. Why do I need to request for the teaching? Right? One may wonder like this. One may feel like this, but requesting is necessary because to really indicate the preciousness of the teaching, right? The preciousness of the teaching and the hard to find the teaching, the difficult to find the teaching side. For example, when Buddha Shakyamuni achieved the enlightenment, when he first achieved the enlightenment, he remained silent for 49 days, for 7 weeks, 7 weeks. In these 49 days, he remained silent and he didn't, teach. So then the some powerful worldly god like Indra and Brahmin, they requested to give the teaching, right? They requested to give the teaching. So therefore, to indicate the very preciousness of the teaching and the very difficult to find the teaching, right? So requesting is necessary. As we know through the biographies of the great, Milarepa's biography, right? That because of the rarity of that teaching, right? Because of the preciousness of the teaching and the rarity of the teachings, he was really, how to say, he was, dying for receiving the teaching, right? So after going through all this, undergoing all the hardships, different forms of hardships, then Marpa, the great Marpa, gave the teaching, right, and teaching and also some meditation. For 11 months, he didn't sleep. He meditated, right? Milarepa meditated for 11 months without sleeping, right? So this shows the the preciousness and the rarity, right? For example, right? For example, especially in one of the tantra, right? In Kala Chakra, in one of the Kala Chakra tantra, in that teaching, it says, in order to, for example, in order to please, in order to make delight the spiritual guru. I'm not talking about all the spiritual guru, the qualified one, right? The qualified one who has all the qualities, right, to be as a spiritual guru. So for that, in order to receive the, those precious teaching, it talks about, offering one's own child, offering, one's own loved ones, the material resources, all this. So we may wonder, why, why we need to, offer all these, precious things. So then it says, on the spiritual teacher, on the part of the spiritual guru, it has nothing to do, right? Because the spiritual master does not need these things. Like spiritual guru does not need things. But then what is the main purpose, right, of doing such things? If we do like this, then we really, see the preciousness of the teaching, and also this is mainly for showing the greatness of the teaching, right? Greatness of the teaching. Mainly for the greatness of the teaching, because the teaching that is very, hard to find, difficult to find, right? So this is the main purpose. So therefore, and for example, right, normal, why, for example, some, the precious like thing like diamond, right? Diamond, high quality diamond is so expensive. Why expensive, right? Because if you have a diamond which is, very hard to find, then we value it, right? We value it because it's so hard to find. It is so expensive. It is so expensive because it is hard to find, right? Then we really value it, right? We don't want to sell it, Similarly, it works same with, Dharma teachings, right? So that's why requesting to turn the will of Dharma for migrators. And so then this requesting to turn the will of Dharma is also, one is not doing for the benefit of oneself, because one is doing for the benefit of the others, right? This one. So this is all about requesting to turn the will of, Dharma. In one's life, if one's life is always, how to say, too much influenced by, how to say, if one does not really care about the moral principles, right? Moral principle, ethics, mainly hardly take any interest about the, any interest about the moral principles, these things, right? And then, for example, I'm talking about the business, all the time, money, power, all these things. The person may feel very, very, how to say, looks very appealing, very appealing and very something very impressive for others, But then deep down, the person is truly, torturing, suffering, suffering. Right. How do we know that person is suffering? It's because based on our own experience, right? For example, right, we say in order to develop compassion for others, right, one need to understand, right, one need to first, eat the stuff, right, and then, for example, like apple, right, whether the apple is sweet and whether the apple is sour, first you eat and then you can tell that the apple is sweet and sour, right? First, based on your own experience, we can do others right. Similarly, if oneself, always, mm, for example, if we, like some kind of moral principle, and also thinking about, for example, like in thinking all about the power, power struggle, how one is tortured. Based on this, you can, tell other people's going through the same problem. So all this, all this occurs when we talk about secular ethics, right? Moral principle. It has to do with caring others, right? Caring others, and it has to do with cherishing others. When we talk about cherishing others, then it is based on compassion and love. But about this, I will talk a little bit later, right? Then I will go. Then the last one, I dedicate my own virtues and those of all others, to the great enlightenment, right? So now here, dedication, right? Dedication is important. Now, right now, finally, we have done, we have engaged in all the six prayer limbs, right? Six prayer limbs. Now we need to this, due to the result of having engaged in these six limb practices, we accumulate certain kind of amount of merit. So this merit one need to dedicate, right? So there are different ways of dedicating, right? So these virtues, generally speaking, there are different ways of generating the dedicating the merit. For example, right, this merit, may I so I dedicate my merit that my life is good, my life is freed from all the problem, my life is filled with happiness, may I have no problem. Then this dedication is very limited, right? Now, for example, with this merit, may all beings who harm me, may they find happiness. So, right, one can also do this, right? This kind of merit, may all those deaf and blind can hear, right? The blind can see, and the deaf can hear. This is something also very powerful, right? This one. Then the most powerful one is here. Out of this merit, we engage in the six practices, limb practices, right? The six limb practices: prostration, making offering, confession, 3, and then rejoicing, 4th, requesting not to pass away, 6, requesting to turn the wheel of dharma. So these 6, So now here, not only this merit, the merit that we have done since many beginners' lifetime, the merit that you are accumulating, the merit that you are going to create in the future. So all this merit we bring together, we gather together and dedicate towards dedicates towards all the sentient beings, right? Dedicate that may I achieve enlightenment for the well-being of all the sentient beings. So this dedication is the most powerful and the highest form of dedication. Right. Now here, here the wish, the wish is sometimes very, very important, very important. Right. For example, right, if you see there's one story. So there was one bodhisattva, very young bodhisattva, very young. And then there is another, that young bodhisattva was very handsome, attractive and handsome. Right. And then there's another, another lady, another, but ordinary, right? Ordinary. Also, she was also very attractive. When they first meet, they got attraction to each other. Right. But then this bodhisattva, the male bodhisattva, when he developed some kind of attraction, very strong attraction, he meditated on the emptiness. He meditated on the emptiness, right? So as a result of having meditated on the emptiness, the wisdom is he cultivated the wisdom. He was cultivated wisdom, and he achieved the spiritual path. He attained the spiritual path, Hinayana spiritual path. But the lady was not able to, able to do this, So because of this strong attachment, right? Because of such a strong attachment, this lady died. This lady died and took a rebirth in one of the heaven. And then because she was born in the heaven, which is now in the form realm. I don't, form realm. 30 in the desire realm. 33 realm. 33 realm. So she has some clairvoyance, she looked, she looked what causes her to take a rebirth in the, heaven. She realized because of her attraction to the bodhisattva, right? Later, someone raised this question: why attraction towards bodhisattva led to take a rebirth right now? Because when we talk about when we talk about the attraction, it is to do with attachment, right? So normally, when we talk about the destructive emotions like attachment, the anger, the hatred, the aversion, the jealousy, all these things, that compel you to take a birth, in the lower realm. But how come by developing attraction towards the bodhisattva led to the higher rebirth? Right. This is because that bodhisattva, while he was training, make a continuous prayer. May those who develop attachment towards me, may they take a pure, take a rebirth in the higher realm. So therefore, this is what we are trying to say, right? For example, we do some good work, right? We do some very nice work, good work, and then we dedicate this merit.
深深到天人当中。
May this merit,
像我所有的
may
一切的
whoever gets anger to me, may their mind is pacified.
他同时也做这
Their
样的
mind,
事
they
情，愿
may
一切
they
都
find
成当他们对我
peace.
诚恳心的时
So
候，
this is
内心获得平静，获得他们所有的烦恼都能够消除。
right. So when you reach such a highest level of spiritual realization,
大的这
you
个
are you really
地道的时候呢，
you are able to do so, right?
他的愿这些祈愿呢，能够成真。
Right. Now, for example, take a simple example, right? For example, when we are sick, right?
当我们
When we do the prayer to the medicine Buddha,
我们向
No.
药师佛祈
you
请，
get the more possibility of getting a quick recovery.
当我们向
Why?
药师佛祈请的时候呢，我们有更大的可能性能够获得身体上的康
Right.
复。为什么是这样子呢？
Your intelligence is not good. You are so dull, right? We are so dull.
我们自己的这个
When we pray to the Manjushri,
缺少。
we increase our intelligence. Why?
当我们向文殊菩萨祈祷的时候，我们可能
We are not-
会能够增加，会能够开发。为什么会是这样子？
For example, we are not a compassionate person. For example, right?
慈悲，我们没有很强的慈悲心，
Very kind of rough mind.
我们的心非常。
When we pray to the Avalokiteshvara,
向观世音菩萨祈
we
祷，
become more compassionate.
我们内心会变得更。
This is also why it happens, right? Similarly, here in the case of Ksitigarbah,
同样的，
when we pray to Ksitigarbah,
我们向地藏菩萨祈祷的时候，
there is, for example, like less kind of the earthquake, for example, the place where there is a lot of earthquake here and there, and also a lot of other fears,
自然的
fire, other wind, the natural calamities, right? These things, and also in order to have a very good harvest, yeah, or to to accomplish the some kind of material resources, if we pray to Ksitigarbah,
向地藏菩萨这样子去
there's a more the chances of achieving your dream,
我们
right?
更
This
多
kind of dream.
更
But why?
这个可能性来成就我们的梦想？为什么会是这样子？
Right. Again, for example, in the case of like Ksitigarbah, Lama Tsongkhapa, right?
妈妈宗喀巴
In the Lama Tsongkhapa was teaching, the union of the Sutra and Tantra is flourished.
这
Why?
边来说，在宗喀巴大
It's
学
flourished extensively in the degenerate times.
是不能够融合在一起的，非常
That is the solution is, or the answer is, for example, like medicine Buddha, right?
犹如药师
When medicine Buddha, before he become enlightened,
成就
when he was training on the spiritual path, when he was training on the spiritual path, he made such a supplication, such a prayer that
他做了广大的祈
those who are sick, tormented,
他的愿
by
他的
afflictions, tormented by physical pain, whoever hears my name,
跟一切的
whoever pray me,
经文像
right?
念诵
Whoever do prayer and these things come in touch with me, may all the physical pain and mental pain is being pacified, come to pacified.
所有的这些
So therefore,
都能够消除。
pacifying the physical pain, mental pain is more to do with the medicine Buddha,
因此说，我们
because they have,
我们当我们
because of the prayer, while they were training on the path, such a prayer, continuous prayer, which then make into reality, blossom.
他做了广大的这种祈愿，
Similarly, Manjushri,
给我们更大的价值。
those who are dull,
像我
whoever
法一样，
come to pray me,
他的祈愿是，
know,
如果
whoever come in touch with me, my name,
那些
may their wisdom increase.
迟钝的人，他向我祈祷的时候，念诵我的名字，与我结缘，能够令他们获得智慧。
Right. Similarly, Thara,
同样的，
for example, like Green
像
Thara,
度母一样，度母菩萨，
the Green Tharas, while her training on the path,
他的祈愿是说，
whoever hears my name, do my prayer, may all the, how to say, sometimes our job, things are not going well in our life, always sometimes many inauspicious, unsuccessful. All those people who pray for me, may all the problems are gone. Right. So when it comes to the pacification of particular, this problem, the more power, if you do pray to the Dara, better, chances, much better chances. Right. Similarly, also here in the Ksitigarbah, Ksitigarbah also before enlightened, Ksitigarbah make the prayer, those, who are, whose land is destroyed by, the earth is destroyed by the calamities, natural calamities like, fire, air, wind, and also those who really wish to increase their wealth, if they pray, may all their wish, aspirations be fulfilled. So this is what they in Ksitigarbah pray, Similarly, like, Ksitigarbah, Lama Tsongkhapa say, because in many, many eons, innumerable eons, Ksitigarbah generated the mind of enlightenment, the spirit of enlightenment in the presence of one Buddha. Spirit of one Buddha, in which he made a promise, he made a strong promise, and also pray that in the time of degenerate times, right, may I be able to unify the Buddha's sutra and tantra teachings. So this is what happened. So sometimes, prayer, very powerful, right? Very, very powerful. Right. For if I say, there were two guys, some argument broke out, and then they then exchange the blows, they engage in fighting, So one person ran away, and another person chased after him, right? Chased after him, and then right. So the next person, the later person who was chasing after the first person, he was holding the knife. The first person has no more escape, So so he was, about to fall into the, one river. But he developed the intention and the wish. May I really become the landlord, Landlord is the kind of, Sada, how to say, the spirit of the landlord, May I be the, become the very powerful, landlord spirit. Because of this, he jumped. Because anyway, the second person is going to kill him with a knife. So as a result, this prayer make him born as a spirit, very ghost. He was born as a ghost. Very fearful ghost, very powerful ghost. So your prayer, these things make, intention.
这个故事是讲说我们的祈愿，我们的祈愿是很重要的。
Right. Now, for example, another thing is, another training, the training in dedicating, or training to develop such a altruistic intention become very important.
我们要来培养、修持我们自己有非常
Right.
强大的利他心。
For example, even for example, at the point of death, right? At the point of dying, what determines your future rebirth?
死亡的时候，他那个
What really determines your future rebirth, right?
是什么样的因
Then
素
we
决
say,
定出我们来世会转生到哪里？
one's positive karma and negative karma determines,
是
right?
我们的善业和恶业决定着我们来世的转
One's
生。
positive karma and negative karma determines your future, the kind of rebirth that you are going to have, right? One is going to have. But then, if we have, for example, if you're, how to say, the strength and the power of your positive karma and the negative karma is equal.
恶业的这个力量是对等的时候，
If your positive karma is more powerful, then you take a favorable
我
rebirth.
们善业的力量更大。
If your negative karma is more powerful, then you will have a negative rebirth, right? Unfortunate rebirth,
恶道当中
right? So the power,
因此说，
which has more power determines your future rebirth.
因此说，我们善恶业的力量哪一个强大，会决定了我们的转世。
But then the question is, how do we make
我们
your positive karma more powerful?
我们的善业的力量更加的
How do we guarantee? How do we at least make some guarantee that you will have a very favorable
我
rebirth
们会有
next life?
来世会有更好的转生。
Is now here dedication makes the difference, right?
在这里，我们说我们的回向
Right? Dedication, because
非常
here, because in take a favorable rebirth, you need a tremendous amount of merit. Favorable rebirth, you need a good merit, right? Virtuous merit, virtuous action,
我们需要
virtuous karma.
福德，
The accumulation of the virtuous karma,
我们积累福德资，福
the
德
accumulation of the virtuous karma, and your merit to make such a vast merit is done by dedicating, right?
我们这些广大的，
Because
我们需要通过我们的回向来承办。
here, when we talk about dedicating the merit, you are
我们谈论
you
到
are
回向的时候，
you are trying to gather the merit of the past,
把我们在过去
the merit of the
所有的这些
the merit that you have created in the past, beginning of lifetime,
故事以来所积累
the merit that you are accruing now, right now,
积累的所有这些
and the merit that you are going to create in the future. All this merit you can put together, you can bring it together. This merit you can offer.
我们
So this kind of merit now becomes so powerful. No matter how much we use, it never get exhausted,
无论我们如何的使用它，它都不会枯竭。
right? So there's some. Then on the other hand, for example,
另外一个方面来说，
you create some kind of negative karma, right? For example, if we create some negative karma,
恶业
we cannot dedicate all the past negative karma, all the present negative karma, all the negative karma that you are going to
恶业
create in the future, you put together,
都说起来，
right?
回向
Right? This kind of negative karma,
这些恶业，
you cannot dedicate, right?
我们没有办法来回向他们。
Or one can dedicate yourself. May I be reborn as a spirit or ghost?
让我成为
It doesn't make any sense. Nobody is doing right.
成为一个恶鬼，我们没有人会这样子。
So this kind of, for the individual for the individual as the individual negative karma, you cannot gather.
但我们
When we talk about the virtuous action,
恶业，我们没有办法
the
组织
virtuous action, particular virtuous action, this you can gather the merit.
我们的福德
So therefore, even at the point of death, you can
来回向他，
still get, you can still,
哪怕在我们临死的
try
当
to
下死亡
make
的
sure
当下
that your
我们也可以
next birth is very favorable
来
birth,
保证说
favorable
我们还
birth
是会转生到善趣，
by the way you dedicate the merit,
通过我们回向我们的资粮。
right? So it look like it's more, positive, your positive actions can be more powerful, right? More powerful than the negative action. If the positive action is more powerful, then automatically your future rebirth is favorable birth.
我们肯定来说，我们来世会转生到善趣。
Then, however, if your positive action and negative actions are equally powerful, then what determines your future birth?
是对等的，我们怎么样子决定我们来世的？
Right? Then it depends on, which you are more, get used to,
那
habituated.
这样子决定我们往生的，是我们死亡的，是我们哪一种？
If one is more habituated to the more negative karma,
如果我们
next
更加
birth,
习惯于
if one is
恶
more
业
habituated to the positive karma, have favorable rebirth.
我们就会转生到恶趣。如果我们更加习惯于这些善业的，
However, if you are
我们会转生到
if
善
we
业。
are equally habituated with both positive karma and negative karma, then what determines?
我们两种业，我们都有共同的
Then
习
what
性
determines is
那我们
now it's a race, it's a race, right?
这就是好像是一个比赛一样，
The moment positive karma, positive thought
在我们死亡的
arises,
时候，我们
it determines the
当下，如果我们
next
升
rebirth.
起善业，或者我们
If
升
the
起
negative karma,
恶业，
negative karma arises in your mind, first this determines
就会决定
what kind of
我们的
emotion it arises in your mind
在我
determines.
们内心当下我们升起的这些情绪，我们升起的这些念头，
Right. So therefore, but then at the point of, for example, in the point of, at the point of dying,
你说到我们在死亡的当下，
even to, even to cultivate the positive emotion,
升起
even to make
善
it
心、善
positive
心
emotion in one's day-to-day life,
是非常重要的。
we need to make sure we are
我们在
we are more habituated with the positive emotions
那我们
than the
在
negative
我们
emotion.
日常的生活当中，
In one's day-to-day life, if one's, mind all the time negative emotion,
我们对恶业以及恶的这些念头
at the point of death, how can we
如
cultivate
果我们不这样做的话，我们
positive
在死亡
emotion
的时候，我们
in day-to-day life,
善的心
all the time,
因此说，我们在日常生活中的当下，每一天当中，我们要去培养我们的善心。
So much depends on the habituated, right? Habituated.
Honorable,
Hmm?
we try to finish the class today, right?
Yeah.
So, you need faster.
I see. Yeah. There's no problem. Yeah. The what right now? I think
1 hour left.
1 hour left. Yeah. No problem. Yeah, we can finish. Yeah,
Sorry to rush you.
no problem. Yeah. Mm. So this is all about dedication, right? So dedication is so important. You don't have to put much effort. As the great Ksitigarbah say, you can create a tremendous amount of merit by just
我们不需要多
by
做的事
dedicating,
情，
right?
通过回向，我们可以积累无用的功德。
Because dedication is also very important. If you don't dedicate the merit, for example, we do good work, right? Good work, we do some dharma work,
回向我们的功德和资粮。如果我们 资粮的话，比如说我们做了很多的善事。
For example, we all come here to discuss some Dharma teaching. Finally, we need to dedicate, Then if we dedicate this, then no matter
最后我们要来回向。
no matter how much we use the result,
如果我们回
we
向
get some kind of pleasant result, So no matter how much, we use the
无论我们怎么样
result,
来
it never
这
get
个
exhausted,
资粮，它都不会消散掉。
right? And also one can dedicate, may I achieve, because in order to there's difference between dedication and the prayer. Dedication,
回向和祈愿这两种。
when it comes to dedicate, it comes with the object.
那么回向的时候呢，
You can dedicate your body, you can dedicate your
它
merit,
有一个物质，它有一个对境。
you can dedicate your
回向我们
material
的身体
object.
回向我们的财富，回向我们等等这些。
So when it comes to the prayer, it has no object.
但是我们
You're just wishing.
我们
It's just a wish,
我们只是说我们在愿望，
So
我们并没有
dedication,
对
comes with the package, like, you are dedicating something.
我们
right.
回向，我们回向，以一个
Then
什么样的
you
动
can
机
dedicate,
以我们的
achieve enlightenment for the world. You are dedicating merit here, right? This merit, as a power of this merit, may I achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentence.
为了利益这
May I be, guided. May I be well guided
以使之年回向说，我能够
by the qualified, for example, spiritual teacher, right?
具德的上
May
师所引导，
may Buddha's teaching remain for a very long period of time,
佛法长久住世，
right? May all the Dharma holders have long life and healthy life. All these things.
上师
First, we dedicate for the well-being of others as much as we can, and then if we dedicate ourselves, no problem.
回向于一切的众生以及他人。
Sometimes we dedicate ourselves first,
然后呢，我们可以来
forgetting to dedicate the well-being of others, right? So this is how we dedicate, right? Yeah.
我们这样子来回向，
So dedication is very, very important.
这是非常重要。
I mean, all this, it also, if we, sometimes we need to check, right? We need to test. If we just do like, just going to, for, just trying to gain some intellectual understanding, then, we don't get any feeling, If you try to do some practice, try to do yourself, try to dedicate, naturally our mind becomes very relaxed,
我们这
and
样
very
子
happy.
来回向，
All the 7 limb practices, all the 7 limb practices,
自然的欢喜跟
because all the 7 limb practices, then, if we practice, then we, feel the flavor.
如果我们
If we don't practice,
按照
then
佛教的这样的方法来修持，我们
something
会
like
体
this.
验到它的这个滋味。但是如果我们不修持的话，那
Okay.
没有太大的意义。
We then talk about the mandala offering, right? The ground sprinkled with perfume and spread with flowers, the great mountains, the 4 lands, the sun and moon, seen as the Buddha land and offered thus, may all beings enjoy such pure land.
以及鲜花，
Then you are making offering, the mandala offering to, for example, like in this case, it's Ksitigarbah, right? We are offering mandala practice.
以此这样子的以此这样子的世界，我们来感观
The ground sprinkled with perfume and spread with flowers.
一切的众生，
So the ground, the ground of the earth, and then the ground of the 4 continents or our continents, right?
我们在佛教的这个世界观，
Great mountain refers to the Mount Meru, 4 lands, 4 continents.
我们中间呢是须弥山，须弥
4 continents,
海呢，
the sun
它围绕着4大洲，
and the moon.
然后呢，这个须弥
So
山
this,
上面的日月
the sun, moon, the 4 continents, mountain, we visualize them as a pure land.
我们把这些呢 这个是我们佛教的这个
We
世界
visualize
的这个观念，把
this as a pure
它
land and then offer it to the
宇宙，我们把它观想为
all the Ksitigarbah and all the retinue.
我们把这个世界观
Why we are doing this practices? Because
把
to
这个呢来供养给世界。
such visualization has to do with the creation of one's own merit.
我们为什么要这样子来观想以及供养呢？
Right.
那这呢是给我们自己来积累资粮。
So this is the short merit, the 7 point, we call the 7 point,
这个是我
7
们
point merit.
在 Mandala offering 当中的七支的7点的这个供养的方法，这是一个简短的一个 Mandala 的供养。
Idam Guru Ratna Mandalam Niyatayami. So this is like Sanskrit, right? Sanskrit language. That means
这是梵文。
that means like, oh master, please accept it. It's something like this. Oh master, please accept it.
请您接受我的供养。
Right.
供养的
So this is all about Mandala offering. Mainly the purpose of creating the merit. Creating and accumulating the merit.
那这个呢是这个供养Mandala呢，主要是给我们自己来积累资粮，积累功德。
So now with this one, when we are done with the mandala, right?
供养我们Mandala 之后呢，
Actually, if you have mandala, then you offer it, right?
如果
We offer it,
如果
right?
你有
If you have no mandala, then we visualize, right?
自己有这个
We visualize
这个
these things,
共性呢，你可以拿出来做供养。如果没有呢，我们可以观想。
Actually, to offer the mandala, you need to have some idea about the Buddhist cosmology
那么供养这个 Mandala 呢
description, right?
我们要对佛教的这个
The sun
宇宙观有一点了解。
Like the sun here, right? The sun, moon, and the 4 continent, one here, east,
四大事变呢，事变
east, east, south, west, north.
东南
right.
西北呢是我们的四大。
So our continent is here,
我
east,
们是
right?
南禅部洲。
No, our is south,
我们是南边。
our is
南
south,
禅部洲
and then between there are two continents, right?
然后
The one continent,
Nice.
one continent, one continent, one continent, 8, right?
我还有 Mandala 的汉句，
Huh?
有一个 Mandala 的汉句。
It's okay.
今天要讲 Mandala 呢，
Right.
花比较长的时间，以后有机会。
Not offering.
Maybe in the
Just
future you can teach Mandala in more detail. Today we do.
okay. That, yeah, something like this. Huh?
要来观想的话呢，
Then yeah, again also if you have some understanding of Buddhist cosmology, then very
对
good.
佛教的这个宇宙观稍微有一点了解，才会比较有帮助。
Then it's also very nice to have, some understanding. And then from the Mount Meru,
我们在须弥山的顶，
Mount Meru, and then from on the top of that is the some
在须弥山的顶部呢，
uh, some the realm of the deities, desire God, and then form realm, and then the formless realm. The top is the formless
一
realm,
直往上，
right?
在须弥
Something
山
like
的
this.
顶部呢
Yeah, when we talk about the mandala, yeah, we will talk this
然后
about
再
this.
一直往上，色界天、无色界天往上，这样子，我们观想的整个的宇宙，
Right.
我们所称为的这个 Mandala 的供养。
Then at this point, when we are done with the mandala practice, then what we do is, then because we visualize the Ksitigarbah, right? Before we visualize Ksitigarbah right in front of you,
我们在地藏菩萨在我们的对面，我们观想
so Ksitigarbah, the main figure Ksitigarbah, and then surrounded by all the retinue, all this, all
我们之前有讲
all this, the retinue, are dissolved into the light from the gathering light. If you exhale the breath, on a mirror, the vapor,
它所有的
draws, right? The
眷属
vapor
呢就都融
draws.
就化光融到了地藏菩萨的心当中，就是好像说
Similarly,
镜子吹气，镜子边缘
Ksitigarbah and all the surrounding,
收拾
they transform into light, 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 and finally all this transform into the
所有的这些
dissolved into the Ksitigarbah. Ksitigarbah also
呢，就说是融到了
gathered
地藏菩萨，然后
from
地藏
his
菩萨
all the body, slowly, slowly
见面了这个地藏菩萨呢，他又从上从头到
gathers into light,
脚呢，也像这个镜子当中哈气一样的，
light,
外面呢向中间
white light, right? This white light.
它也融入到了他的自己的心当中，然后呢化为光明。
So for this, if we have received the empowerment,
如果我们弟子当中有获得过地藏，
if we have received the empowerment, then this dissolve into you, from your forehead, right, on your forehead,
从我们的顶门
and then you become Ksitigarbah.
融入到我们的心当中，然后
However
瞬间变成了地藏菩萨。
However, if you have not received any initiation, any empowerment, right,
任何的观
then
念
it dissolve into your,
让
this
我们观想地藏菩萨
mid,
融入到了我们的
mid
我
eyebrow,
们的眉心当中，
and then you feel,
我们
you think you have received the blessing of the
获得了
Ksitigarbah and all his retinue.
我们获得了地藏菩
You
萨
have received the blessing
眷属的
of
加
the,
持
you have received the body, speech, and mind, the blessing of the Ksitigarbah.
身与意的功德的加持。
Right.
我们
With
这样
this,
观想
with this kind of visualization and thinking, then you recite the mantra.
然后这样子观想，我们就来念诵
Right.
咒语。
Om Sumbani Sumbani, right, Sumbani Baharaza Ra Mahapa Shamaratuta Amoga Benzasata Soha Om Sumbani Sumbani Harakara Mahapasa Maruta Amoga Vajasadva Soha, right?
The two
This
mantras
one.
are the same, right?
Uh,
The top is Tibetan phonetic, the bottom is Sanskrit phonetic. Om Sum
no, this is the there are different ways of writing. There are different ways of writing.
Mantras are the same, right?
Yeah, but yeah.
就上面上下的这两个咒在衣柜里面，它是一个咒，只是呢是用不一样的发音来念。上面呢是用藏文的发音，下面
If one can recite, then one can recite this, 108 times, right?
如果我们这样
Or then Om Ksitigarbah,
是长咒，
Om
然后呢我们念它的短咒，
Om Ksitigarbah,
我们记得
so Zim Soha, right? So like this.
这样子来念它的心咒。
So depending on one's time, how much you need to recite is up to oneself, depending on one's
有时
availability of the time,
就短念
right?
都可以。
Or 108 or 21 times or 7 times or 3 times or 1 time.
细便都可以，这样子来
Right.
念。
Right, like this. When we visualize this, when we try to visualize this, one need to do it from one's heart, right?
我们这样，当我们这样子来念诵和观想的时候，我们要以真心的在内心上，这样子来做，真心的来观想。
Right. As we said, the root of the
我们讲到说，
the root of the blessing is
我们一些
the root of the
暂时
blessing is faith and devotion.
是我们的
The root of the faith and devotion is
虔诚心，
requesting and prayer.
而我
The
们
root of the requesting and prayer is in one's heart.
信心和虔诚心的根本，
The root of one's heart is beneath the bone,
而我们祈愿的根本是我们的
Right.
心。
beneath the bone. So yeah, through this,
To the bone.
here, I mean that to make the things long short, one really need to do it from the depth of one's heart, Try to be always trying to be very honest with ourselves,
要从我们内心的深处发起，
something which
真心实意的发起，这样子。
deeply felt devotion, then
内在的真正的梦想，
something is there. Then something is there.
才会有力量，我们才会有一点点
Right.
东西。
So it's very important that reading is not that enough. The more to do with visualization, and more to do with from the very depth of one's heart.
一定要去努力的去观想，以及努力的升起真心的觉受，内心的深处里面真心的去做这些观想和体验。
Om Zede Sa Garbah Sim Soha.
Can you lead us to chant the mantra a couple of times?
Huh?
Can you lead us to chant the mantra a couple of times?
Yeah.
我们一起来念
Om Sumbani
颂巴内
Sumba
颂巴
Harazara
哈拉扎的
Maha
马哈
Pasha
巴夏
Maruta
马鲁达
Amoga
阿莫嘎
Benza Sata
本扎萨达
Soha
苏巴
Om Sumbani
嗡颂巴内
Sumbani
颂巴内
Hara
哈拉
Kara
嘎拉
Maha Pasa
马哈巴萨
Maruta
马鲁达
Amoga
阿莫嘎
Vajasatva
巴加萨
Swaha
苏哈
Om Sumbani
嗡颂巴内
Sumba
颂巴
Haraza
哈拉扎
Raha
扎
Maha
马哈
Pasha
巴夏
Maruta
马鲁达
Amoga
阿莫嘎
Benza Sata
本扎萨达
Soha
苏哈
Om Sumbani
嗡颂巴内
Sumba
颂巴
Harakara
哈拉嘎拉
Mahapasa
马哈巴萨
Maruta
马鲁达
Amoga
阿莫嘎
Vajasatva
巴加萨达
Soha
苏哈
Om Zita
嗡吉达
Sa
萨
Garba
嘎巴
Sim
金
Soha
苏哈
Om Zita Sa
嗡吉达萨
Garba
嘎巴
Sim Soha
金苏哈
Om Zita Sa
嗡吉达萨
Garba
嘎巴
Sim Soha.
金苏哈
Oh, so this is it. Very good. Then, with this, then we finally completed with dedication prayers.
然后呢，念完这个咒呢，我们就以这个回向的祈愿文来结束。
Right. So as I discussed, we discussed earlier,
我们之前有讲到，
dedication is
回向是非常重要的。
finally is ended. All the prayers, all the practices is finally ended with the dedication prayer.
都是以回向为结束，
Right.
回向文为结束。
Then here, due to the merit of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of Ksitigarbah and let all living beings without exception into that enlightened state.
引领一切的众生，
So then you create a certain amount of, the merit, by engaging in the Ksitigarbah practice. With this merit, we dedicate this merit in order to merit for your in order to become oneself enlightened. Why you want to become enlightened is to fulfill the well-being of others, right?
在这里呢，
And let all living beings without exception into the enlightened state.
我们自己成为地道。
May the supreme jewel bodhicitta that hasn't arisen, grow, and may that is arise not diminish but increase more and more. Then we cultivate
菩提心要好，
this prayer.
菩提心，如果没有升起，应该升起
May the supreme jewel bodhicitta, altruistic mind or bodhicitta that has not arisen, those who have not arisen this mind
菩提心要好，为生当令生，以生令真诚。
arise, and may already those who have degenerated this, may those who have not degenerated, may it continues to
我
grow,
们自己的菩提心，我们的
right?
慈悲心，
And may
这个心能够升起，
what
增长，也就不要消失。
and may that which has not arisen, those who have not arisen, right?
愿如果我们还没有升起的，
And may that which has not arisen not diminish,
令它升起；如果已经升起的，
may this bodhicitta is not diminish
这个菩提心
but continue to increase more and more,
在增长，越来越广大。
right? So this thinking about this bodhicitta is
思维菩提心，
this what we call as some kind of a medicine, some kind of really a true medicine for one's
是我们真实的啊、
a true medicine for many of the inner conflictions, right? Inner conflictions and inner disturbances. Because what really makes our life so miserable, right? So miserable is because of internal disturbances. When we talk about internal disturbances, the most, the worst form of internal the very worst form of internal conflict and disturbance is none other than grasping and self-grasping and self-cherishing. And for the self-cherishing, for the self-cherishing attitude, as Master Shantideva said, if we do not exchange between self and others, there is no happiness in this world. He decided, Master Shantideva almost decided that you will not find a really a quality happiness if you do not exchange for self and others. Right. Right. For example, I have, for example, we have some problem here and there, in the case of sickness, sickness also, although we do have hospital to go, right, to get treated, but then, sometimes also this, meditation on the altruistic mind, the mind of enlightenment or this bodhicitta also make a huge difference, right? Very good difference, huge difference. And this is the highest form of medicine, I think from Buddhist, just even take more interest about this, the kind of interest and the meditation about this, bodhicitta, and the practice, trying to put the of its practicality in one's daily life. One should not have any problem, not much, problem. We should not have any problem, once, we are try to really, try to do, try to make this one's own, the main fundamental practice, right? But right. So there are two options to cultivate this mind, right? Because one is directly, directly dealing with those obstacles for the cultivation of this mind. Because on the other hand, the destructive emotions are pretty powerful for the beginner. Destructive emotions are pretty powerful for the beginner. The destructive emotions, they are not ready to surrender. For the beginner, they gain the upper hand, right? They get the upper hand. Then on the other hand, the important, again, to cultivate this now, we're thinking about the benefits, benefits of the altruistic mind, right? Altruistic mind. So this, so one method is just dealing with the obstacles, which causes which causes us to prevent the cultivation.
升起菩提心的这些负面的情绪，和他们做来对治它，这是其中的一个方法。
What time?
11:30.
11:30? Yeah, we have enough time. Okay, it's okay. Then I would continue here this. Right.
然后我们今天的就稍微讲的快一点，因为还有点时间，我会继续讲一讲这个
Now, what is the
新的这个内容。
obstacle?
我们
Right. If you tell what is the obstacle for the cultivation is this in altruistic mind.
利他心的这个障碍是什么呢？
Right.
Self-cherishing.
The what we call as the main obstacle is
障碍我们升起菩提心的最主要的障碍是
the lack of
我们缺少
what is called as caring,
缺少对他人
sense of caring,
我们缺少
sense of caring and sense of affectionate love, or what is called a delightful love, the pleasant love.
我们最大的障碍是缺少对于他人的关爱，以及
Right.
对他人有
Right. Take a simple example, right? For example, even within, you have, for example, you have three people, right? One is someone very dearest to your heart.
有些人，其中一个人对于我们来说是
One is very dearest to your heart. One is your,
其中一个
say,
是我们
say your friend.
是我们普通的朋友，
One is someone who's very dearest to your heart, and one is your friend.
其中一个是我们的朋友，
Another one is
另外一个
your friend's friend.
是我们朋友的朋友，
Three people,
三个人。
right? So, for example, both of them are going through the same problem,
他们三个
right?
人都在
Same
经历
kind of
同样的困难和痛苦，
whether it be physical problem or whether it be mental problem, they are going through the same problem. They need your help.
受同样的困难，他们需要我们的帮助。
If you were given the choice, whom do you act first? Whom do you respond to all this pain, three people's pain? Whom you are going to pain,
有
right?
机会去选择我们谁去想可以去帮助，
Naturally,
我们会我们会
your mind automatically goes towards somebody who is very closest to you,
我们最为亲近
right?
广爱的人。
So even, of course, you have some kind of, the sense of caring for all these people,
虽然
three people, right?
内心确实对三个人
Someone
有
who's very,
一些关怀和
for example, right? You have very strongest, form of, love and caring for your, say, mother, who is very closest to you. And then maybe
深邃的
your friend, to whom you have some degree of love, affection, love, of caring love. And then your friend, maybe 10%, right?
对于我们的
But
朋友来说，
when they go through equally the same problem,
我们
whom you are going to respond
对于
first
妈妈或者亲人
is, for example, your mother. Because why?
我们对谁我们会最为深入的感情？我们的母亲，
Because your your sense of unbearableness is so strong towards the closest one. Again, why?
我们对自己
Why?
最亲近的
Yes.
人，我们对他的爱心是如此的强大。有当
And then say
见到
towards your
我们
close friend, towards your close friend, maybe 50%, sense of unbearableness. maybe towards your friend's friend, maybe 10%, right? Sense of unbearableness is just 10%. Still, you find, the strength of unbearableness different in degrees, different, levels, different in strength. How it comes, right? How it comes? Because you have no equal sense of caring towards these three people. Because we are not able to find the affectionate, same degree of affectionate love. Right. So therefore, we are not able to cultivate the same affectionate love towards all these three people. The best way to cultivate the equal level of caring, the sense of what we call as caring, affectionate love is one. There are two methods, right? One method is seeing all being as some kind of, seeing all these three beings as once, having been one's mother. This is one thing. Another method is thinking about the kindness of them. These three beings, equal kindness to you. Another form of method is thinking about the shortcoming of self-cherishing and the benefits of the cherishing others. So these three makes your caring equal, right? Equal. Right. Right. Now, for example, if you were given to somebody whom you don't like, somebody I don't like, somebody who he give me some problem, who physically or emotionally or verbally, right? Right. If the person goes through some problem, we don't want to help, then we may, if we are being asked the question, why you don't help that person? We may say, oh, I don't need, why should I help? I don't need. This is not my responsibility. This is not my responsibility. We respond, right? This is not my responsibility. If we are being asked why it is not responsibility, is if we try to see the reason, we see that because others' pain does not hurt me. I don't, when other people go through a problem, some suffering, I don't feel any pain. Why should I help? This is number one reason. Right? If our only response is because I don't feel others' pain, if this is illogical. This response is really somewhat illogical, right? Slightly illogical, because then if that is the case, right now we are young, we work hard to some extent. Why we are work hard is because when we are young, we work hard, we invest money, right? We invest all this money for one purpose, is when we get old, so that I can use the money, in a relaxed, I can just, I don't have much hardship, when I get old, I can use this money. So I need to work hard, I need to earn a lot of money so that I won't have any problem. Right. So we are thinking like this, we try to think right?
我们会这样子来想。
In which case, what you need to work, because your futures, the suffering of your old age does not hurt you.
我们
Got the reason?
我们去思维，
Because if the other pain does not hurt me, if you say like this, then why do you invest all the money for the future? Because
这样的
the suffering of the future does not harm when you are young.
我们在
This is one reason.
年老时候的这个痛苦，
We will argue with that,
对于我们现在来说没有任何的影响。那为什么我们的年老？
right?
同样的，如果我们的朋友
And also,
他们在经受的痛苦，
when your heart is
因为我们感受不到，所以我们不去帮忙。那为什么我们要为我们的年老而做准备？
right. And another reason is when your leg is hurt, when your leg is hurt,
另外一个理由，当我们的脚
why your right hand or left hand and try to help
为什么我们的左手
with the
右手
left
会
hand,
想去帮
with the
忙
leg?
我们的
Because
我们的脚
the pain is leg pain, not the hand pain.
我们的痛苦在我们的脚，
This is another
在我们的
reason.
手上。
Right? This is, you got the reason? I say that's good. And another one is now, this is one reason. And then another reason is we may say, oh, this, why that other person are not related, why I'm to help in that person? Because we are not related, right? We are not related. Other person's problem is other person's problem. My problem is my problem. What it has, when somebody go through problem, what it has to do with me? Why need to
他
help?
们在经受困难和痛苦的时候，跟我有什么关系？
For this, then I would use another reason and logic, In that case, why do mother take care of the child?
那我们就会说，
Because the child problem is child problem,
为什么
mother's problem is mother's problem,
要照顾
right?
因为母亲的问题是母亲
Why the father,
是孩子，为什么
take care of the family, right?
父亲要照顾他的家庭？
Right. Then, for example, why there some humanitarian service, right?
为什么
I mean,
这些人道主义的团队和组织？
there are some, organization, NGO, non-NGO, whatever it is, right? So they help some, for
所有的这些
those poorer section of the people in education field, in the medical field, whatever, why do they need to, do this, all this, right? Because it's different,
他们跟他们没有任何关系，为什么他们要去帮助他们？
right? So this, it's illogical to say, oh,
所有的这些，
other people problem, my problem, something like this,
如果仔细的去分析，是没有逻辑和道理的。
right? So therefore, now here, equalizing,
因此，
equalizing,
我们修行
try to adopt the equanimity, right? Equanimity, right? Equanimity.
我们升起，
So
我们对治他，对所有的众生升起
as we said earlier, equanimity.
平等心。
If your closest one help, closest one help,
如果我们的亲人，
if you say the closest one help me, then your enemy also help me.
他们是因为亲爱他们，我们为我们的亲人，
If your enemy harms me, then the closest one also
但是我们
have
的
harmed
敌
me
人
in many past lifetime.
我们的亲人，
And also,
我们的敌人伤害过我们，但是我们的
finally,
亲人也伤害过我们，
everything is unpredictable,
而且在无始以来都是如此的这样，
right?
所有的事情都是我们。
Check even the vote, for example, in the presidential vote, we don't know who is going to win.
我们都不知
It's
道，
unpredictable.
我们的亲人未来不一定是我们的亲人，敌
Right.
人未来不一定是我们的敌人，这些都是不可预测的。
I'm trying to see the lot of news, lot of news.
看到很多的这个新闻，
I think one, for example, sometime, there one lady, I mean, there's one good friend of, for example, like Melania Trump, right? She is one good friend for 15 years, very best friend. But then, later on, best friend transformed into something very
有两个朋友，
difficult
十几年来
situation.
都是很好的
right.
朋友，但是最
So
后成为了敌人。
yesterday, good friend. Yesterday, enemy. Today, best friend.
那昨天是敌人，今天是好朋友；昨天是好朋友，今天是敌人。
Today, very poor. Tomorrow, become very rich.
昨天很贫穷，今天很富有。
Right. So everything is almost like unbalanced. Sometimes balance become unbalanced, unbalanced become balanced. There's no things as predictable, right?
没有
But
任何
on the other hand, we keep on planning, very long-term plan, very beautiful, nice things. Not realizing some kind of whole. Right. So these things help. These things help.
所有的这些内容，我们要这样子去思维，对我们会有帮助。
So the best thing, the best method for the best method for, I think, the cultivating, the caring. Right. So once we are able to the best method for caring is recognizing all beings as one's mother, and then another one is
我们修行菩提心，你对他的关爱心，就是要去认识
another one is
一切众生如是我的母亲，
the kindness, remembering the kindness,
意念他们
and another one is
之母，
reflecting on the defects of the self-cherishing and the benefits of the cherishing others.
真爱
So these three.
以及真爱他人的功，这样子的三个。
So long as we are not able to cultivate, this affectionate love, caring love,
只要
this caring love is the very fundamental.
只要我们没有办法
It's very fundamental. If we have this caring love,
升起这样子的关爱对他人的爱心，这个是非常关键的。
right? We don't need police.
如果我们
We don't need military.
如果我们有这个，我们
We don't need law enforcement. We don't need any kind of court. All these things, right? But because we are not able to cultivate some kind of this caring love, or what is called as affectionate love. So this unique word. I don't know if it's a equivalent word in English or not. In Tibetan, we call it yung chamba, seeing some kind of the purity in every being,
我们
trying to see some kind of purity. We call it,
我们要去尝试的。
after a long time, when you see mother, how delightful you feel. After a very long time, when you see your mother, you haven't seen mother for a very long time, to whom you love, then you see that the mother or somebody to whom you love, how happy you feel. This kind of love we are talking about. Affectionate love,
分开了很久。
in many of the terminology, they use affectionate love, or some kind delightful love or pleasing love.
强大的欢喜心。
So mere seeing gives you some kind of
中文里面把
sense of warmth.
讲到叫做
So this one,
affectionate love， 有感情的爱，中文不知道怎么翻译。
once, right?
深沉的爱，有这样的一种深沉的爱心。
The great master Langri Thangpa,
我们伟大的
Langri Thangpa told the great another master Chengawa, right?
但是他妈对这个
Langri Thangpa say, in my entire life, I meditated on this affectionate love.
在我一生当中，我在
Then
休息的
it was, Chengawa was wearing the hat, some hat. Chengawa took off his hat, and then, as a mark of respect, very good, very good, very
把他的
good,
帽子
something like this.
拿下来，对他恭敬的顶礼。 代表了一种尊敬。
right? So if we have this affectionate love, no harm. We should not expect any harm,
如果我们
We
有
are going to fulfill all what we aspire for,
这样子的关爱心，我们
right?
不会有任何的伤
No
害，
human beings can harm. No, the non-humans can harm,
没有任何的人和非人能够伤害我们。
right? So this is the very basis, If this, if there is so long as this, kind of, affectionate love, there's no kind of exploitation should not take place, right? Sometimes there's a child trafficking, right? All this should not take place. But because of this kind of what is called as lack of universal, values,
我们缺少
all this happens.
像我们缺少像那种关爱心，我们才会有各种各样的问题。
So the important thing is, sometimes need to think, a little bit, thinking help.
真的去思维。
Okay, sorry. Okay, then we go through this. Now we go through the last one. Last one.
我们
By the force of the praises and requests made to you, may all diseases, evil spirit, poverty, and quarrels be calmed. And may the dharma and good fortune increase in the region in which I and all others
最后一个回向，
dwell.
通过礼赞的对地藏菩萨礼赞的功德，愿所有的疾病、
Right.
恶灵、
So
贫穷，
now here, right, by the force of praises and requests made to you, may all diseases.
佛法以及所有的
So
善愿都
so when we are so right now we are beginner, right? So we make this prayer from the depth of our heart, from our heart. And then why also we are training in the spiritual training, we need to make this prayer. Then really
深处做这些祈祷，
when we really are when we really cultivate some advanced spiritual practice, right? Some kind of Mahayana, deeply felt experience, then this happens.
当我们真
This occurs, in real.
这些地道的功
That
德，
whoever see you, their disease. Just sometimes you have headache, right? Sometimes you have it, you ask the some master to bless, it look like your headache
头痛，
got
请他们
relief.
请他们
Your pain is relieved.
加持，
And then
我能够
sometimes we call it is caused by evil spirit,
我
some
们受到一些恶魔的
unknown forces.
侵扰，恶灵的
So
侵扰。
when you try to do some prayer and this, it seems to work.
他能够
And poverty,
他能够有
when you are
让我们贫穷，
driven by faced with poverty,
让我们在 power 贫穷的时候，同样的也能够被消除。
may I be the one who able to
愿我能够成为
cause to dispel the poverty,
让
right?
我能够
So this
成为
also happened.
这样的
And quarrels be calmed.
所有众生的贫穷的
Whoever see you, whoever come in touch with you, right?
我们
So these things really
任何
happens in real
见到我们
because you have
与我们接触的人，他们都能够获得平静。
gained such a the power in the power cultivated the strength and power in this practice.
因为我们这样子去修持，我们如果
And may the dharma and good fortune increase in the region in which I and all others dwell. So here dharma and may the dharma and the good fortune
佛法和
increase
我们的幸福，
where you dwell. The people of that
在我
area get the benefit.
在我们自己和他人所居住的这个地区都能够增长。
Right. In one of the benefits of the bodhicitta, it says,
菩提心的其中一个功德，
whoever cultivated the bodhicitta, if that person come in that particular
这
place,
个菩萨他来到这个地区，
good things will happen.
这个地区所有的好的事情都会发生。
So this is all about the dedication prayer.
在这里都是关于回向的部分。
Right. With this, we have ended the Ksitigarbah practice.
今天呢，我们讲完了所有的地藏菩萨的这个修辞。
So what time?
12
12.
时间刚刚好。
Okay. Then any?
We make announcement next class. Next class, which you're gonna teach.
Next class. Next class. Yeah. Yeah, we do 7 point.
下次课呢，我们讲修心机论。
We do the 7 point mind training.
写修心机论。回头呢，我会找到，我跟师傅商量一下哪一个论哪一个版本，或者哪一本书，我会尽可能的发给大家。Okay.
So we will then send out the text. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is important to to go through the text.
That's right.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. We can if you pick a text and let me know, then I can find the Chinese.
Yeah.
OK， 那谢谢大家，今天就到这里。
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Oh, you're welcome. Very welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, Venerable.
拜拜。
Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Venerable. Thank you.
Okay. Done.